External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar visited Russia from August 19th to 21st, 2025. During his trip, he met President Vladimir Putin, First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov, and Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. The main agenda was to co-chair the 26th session of the IRIGC-TEC. Key topics discussed included terrorism, regional developments, and strengthening the strategic partnership between India and Russia. Jaishankar's visit occurred in the context of U.S. President Donald Trump's imposition of reciprocal tariffs, 25% on Indian exports, and an additional 25% on purchases of Russian oil, totaling 50% duties. The U.S. has pressed India to stop buying Russian oil, arguing it supports the Ukraine war. In response, Jaishankar publicly questioned the logic behind the U.S.'s punitive tariffs, describing India as very perplexed at the logic of the argument. He made it clear that India will continue its energy partnership with Moscow and that it's not the largest buyer of Russian oil or LNG, countering U.S. assertions. Furthermore, Jaishankar highlighted India's independent foreign policy and strategic autonomy, asserting that India will chart its own economic path despite U.S. pressure, and that broader cooperation with Russia remains sanctions-proof. Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov said cooperation in the hydrocarbon sector and Russian oil shipments to the Indian market are making wide strides. Both sides remain committed to implementing joint energy production projects in the Russian Far East and the Russian Arctic Shelf, among other sites, he said. Earlier, Russian embassy officials in New Delhi said that oil shipments to India will continue despite U.S. pressure, adding that Moscow hoped a trilateral meeting with India and China would take place soon. During his visit, the External Affairs Minister of India said that India and Russia ties have been one of the most stable ones since World War II. Jaishankar highlighted that bilateral trade in goods between India and Russia has grown dramatically, over fivefold in 4 years, rising from $13 billion in 2021 to $68 billion in 2024-25. The two countries have set a target to achieve $100 billion in trade by 2030. However, with this growth has come a major trade imbalance. India's trade deficit with Russia has surged from $6.6 billion to $58.9 billion in the same period, primarily due to higher oil imports from Russia. Jaishankar stated that it needs to be addressed urgently and stressed the importance of increasing Indian exports to Russia in sectors like pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and textiles to correct the imbalance. Russia has welcomed the move and showed interest in buying Indian goods. To address the trade deficit, Jaishankar and his Russian counterparts discussed several measures, like removing tariff and non-tariff barriers to facilitate easy trades, boosting connectivity via the International North-South Corridor and the Chennai-Vladivostok Maritime Corridor, promoting the use of national currencies, enhancing cooperation in energy, tech, and transport.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.